Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, we are going to talk about a new type of movie.
Yeah, we're actually going to cover a fan-made film this week.
It is Friday the 13th.
Vengeance.
And this movie starts off so great. Like, I think fan-made films need more love in the broad scheme of episodes of reviews or commentary or anything like that, because it really is good.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. It's good to see pretty much a fan's point of view.
Yeah.
On something that they love.
Yeah. And it just gives you the whole Camp Crystal Lake, Jason Voorhees. It's like they just plucked right out of the 80s and bam, 2019 did.
Yeah. So pretty much this movie is pretty much, I guess it would be a sequel to Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Part 6.
Part 6, yeah.
And it has Jason Voorhees' dad.
It does.
Which is it ever mentioned? You are the Friday the 13th expert.
Well, I know in the movies, no, it's never moved, but I think in the comic it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, canon to what most of us know as Friday the 13th, no dad.
No.
Well, obviously the only way you create a human is man and woman, but you don't hear of him.
Yeah, there was a father at some point, yes.
And so, it's kind of like you see this, and it's who's the dad played by? What's that actor's name?
C.J. Graham.
Yes. So he played Jason Voorhees in
Part 6.
So all right, cool. So he's almost continuing on a legacy.
Yeah.
With us fans.
Yeah, and also he was in 13 Fanboy.
Yes, 13 Fanboy, which me and Jake actually saw at Scarefest. And unfortunately, we didn't get the Kane Hodder commentary after because he got lost.
Yeah, he was staying at like a different hotel.
Yeah, me and Jake can account for this. It got a little confusing out there.
It did, yeah.
So you have, it's cool. It's a fan-made film, which we've noticed watching some of these, YouTube fan-made films. They do bring in a lot of the same actors and actresses.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a group that they just use, and I think it's really good because it gives you that continuity and you see familiar faces. Like when we watched Roseblood. Yeah,
Roseblood. We had Jake, in his fandom. We watched it a couple weeks ago, and we saw 4, 5, 6 of the same actors and actresses playing. I mean, guys, completely different roles. I mean, you had the general and the corporal playing criminals picking up trash on the side of the road in this one.
They were such major characters in Roseblood. And then here they're like minor, maybe a minute of screen time.
Yep, killed.
Yeah.
So you got the dad. It seems like he awakens Jason in the water.
That's what I noticed as well.
Yeah, so it was like a telekinetic connection between father and son,
and just seeing him and his size, it makes sense.
The dad, yeah. I mean, you got a guy that played him, and then you got him playing the dad. Kind of like when Kane Hodder plays the dad in Hatchet, and then also is Hatchet. Yeah. Excuse me. So what did you think about that? I mean, I couldn't really piece it together, but that you see the dad, it's like this close up camera angle, and then boom, Jason in the water, chains, zombie, and then he's up.
I personally liked it.
Okay.
I mean, since it's Part 6, I like they used the name Dr. Cruz, which didn't happen until Part 7. Oh, okay. So it still kind of ties you into the continuity of the rest of the franchise. Mm-hmm. And they reference, them seeing him written down. He was seen in New York once and all different things like
so
that.
There's a character in the movie that's like writing a book, I do believe.
Yeah.
And he steals a file from the doctor's office, and it's got like every detail in this little folder about Jason Voorhees and his family, and
love it.
So I really wanted to ask you about this when I was watching it, but in this particular fan-made film, it shows the dad killing.
Yeah.
How is a massive Friday the 13th fan, how did you feel about that? Did it do it disservice, or did it do a service in the way they did it in this film?
To me, it's like the same thing to me.
Okay.
Like as if it was Mrs. Voorhees doing it. So when they had the scene to where it's something like a retelling of the original counselor scene from the original Friday the 13th, but instead of Mrs. Voorhees killing the counselors, it's his dad. It still, to me, makes the same amount of sense. It's still a parent that lost her kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. You were like a very stickler sometimes about certain aspects, but I think the way they decided to go about it in this it's not a different universe, but it definitely shows him killing those two counselors.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm fine with that because it still makes sense. It's still a grieving parent killing from losing their child. And another aspect I liked was also the whole Tommy Jarvis storyline.
Yeah, that's where I was just you literally just took the words out of my brain.
That's something I've always wished Friday the 13th would have done a better job with. Was the whole Jarvis trilogy.
Yeah, because in this movie, the main character, some of the main characters is his daughter.
Yeah.
So you have a family. So in this movie, they kind of tie in multiple family members of the original cast, which I know just got your jollies so up.
I loved it.
But the main, the ones that it starts off with, the ones that you're most connected with are those.
Yeah,
the kids.
The Jarvis family, yeah. Which is good, yeah. Tommy Jarvis is a key component to, especially the latter chapters in the Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And to see his daughters pretty much taking the torch and continue it on, I like that. Because it makes sense to why, almost like how Michael Myers and the whole Laurie Strode lineage type thing, it's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Him going after the Jarvises.
Yeah, and it's, for fans, it adds that immediate personal connection.
Yeah.
Because the character. And it's interesting because you have Tommy Jarvis, who goes missing, technically, which he's never in the film.
Just
the
pictures. Yeah.
The pictures, yeah. So the daughters, you can kind of tell he comes across as like the deadbeat dad. He's not always there. Yeah. They go home to hang out with him. And he leaves a note that says, he's back.
Yeah. ...
And then she immediately freaks out. Another really cool thing, as we both loved in Halloween Kills, they had 78 flashbacks.
Yeah.
In this film, they had flashbacks to the camp counselors.
Yeah, which I loved.
And to find out that the one of the camp counselors was the main sheriff, who was like a complete royal dick.
Yeah.
And they had the thick Jersey accent, which is amazing because a lot of people, that wouldn't focus on the depth of our fandom wouldn't know that Camp Crystal Lake was based in
Jersey, pretty much. New
Jersey.
And that's what I love. So as soon as he started talking, I was like, yeah, this movie gets it.
Yeah, so it flashes back, and basically the sheriff is the main who's the head lifeguard that day when Jason Voorhees drowns, but he decides to go bang out some little lifeguard on the side of the hut.
Who's a Jarvis?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh. So it kind of ties back into, I guess, you get a backstory on why he's after the Jarvises so bad.
Yeah. Because it's all tied in.
Yeah.
But you realize that the dad is kind of the one steering that ship.
Yeah.
He's kind of, Jason wouldn't have really known.
Yeah, no idea.
He has no idea who's at fault for killing him or for his accidental death. It's not like they held him underwater, but they're treating it like they all how many ever of them were just
went
down
out there and
all...
just drowned him in the lake. But so the sheriff was Jason. I think Realati was the character's name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was pretty funny because the actor, I think it was Steve Dash. He was Jason in part 2 Friday the 13th.
No way.
Yeah. So he's, I guess, technically real Jason.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're picking, you see, your fandom
Sounds
is picking
pretty
up
clever.
on so much.
I loved it.
More stuff. I just enjoyed the film from start to finish. And I was so excited to do this episode with you because I knew you could dive into some of these details that I would never pick up on.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, this movie gets it.
Yeah. The kills. Some were great. Some were horrible. Did you have a favorite kill in this? No?
No.
Nothing particularly stuck out?
One that sticks out is where later in the movie where the people are doing like they're on the campground, like the tour or whatever, and he takes the water bottle and shoves it down his throat. It comes out the back of his head and the water starts to pour out. That was pretty good.
It was pretty well done, and I named that character Dentures.
You did, that's right, yeah.
His teeth were very apparent that they were fake.
They were very apparent. And if they're not fake,
hey, he's got some shots out to that actor and his dental work.
Got some great choppers on you. But other than that, I mean, the kills to me are probably the most lacking part of the movie.
But for being a fan-made film, this was probably the corniest kill, but my favorite kill was old drunk who crashes a Jeep and then just says, "You're not a bear," to Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, it's like,
walks right up to him.
Yeah.
And is like, "Are you gonna move?" And then Jason just grabs a hold of his head and rips it off.
Yeah.
But then they throw that prop head down, and it looked pretty good.
It looked good. She's pulling it off too.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad kill.
It wasn't a bad kill, but okay, I'll give you that one too. So that one and the water bottle one.
Those are probably the...
A lot of the other ones, they were kind of like off-screen kills.
And yeah, what's up with horror movies deciding to kill main characters never on screen?
I don't know.
You'll see, Betty that's had 5 minutes in the film get a pole through her hoo-ha.
Yeah.
But then you got the main character, one of the main counselors, they die in the silhouette of a window.
Yeah, or like the screen cuts to black.
Yeah.
Like different this one.
Another kill that I really liked, it was the girls working on the car. Her friend's head gets bashed into it. But then Jason walks over to the window and she's like, "I got it." She's just decapitated. Out the driver's side window.
That was the sharpest window.
Dude, window's not even broken. It must have just had an edge on it.
He just pushed her head bloop, right off.
So another thing that I really wanted to ask you about, you got the dad. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's some, connection between him and the son because he awakens him in the water. But then you find out during the search for Jason Voorhees after he drowns, mm-hmm. the cops and everybody basically say they're done. They mm-hmm. can't find him. Then you see him emerging from the water carrying the dead body of the son, which makes 1,000% sense. Not really. And then you have the book. It's like, it almost looks like the Evil Dead book.
Yeah.
And it would seem that he used some like satanic ritual to bring Jason back. That's never been done before, to my knowledge, in a Friday the 13th film.
No.
And so I really wanted to get the big Friday the 13th fans' opinion on that. Do you think that was good or bad?
Oh, man, I'm torn.
I know. It's a really tricky...
Because the movie itself, I think, is really good to be fan-made.
Yep.
That particular detail, I'm not a fan of that.
But how does it work with your plot hole thing? So in my opinion, I'm not a big Friday the 13th fan. Obviously, I love them because it's a horror film. Mm-hmm. But to me, it kind of fixes a plot hole in how Jason... Oh, well, you say Jason never died.
Yeah, because he's in part 2.
Yeah.
As an adult.
He's not dead. He doesn't die until...
Part 4.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that would then make another, and in essence, created a plot
exactly.
hole. Okay.
It kind of cancels out almost like 2, 3, and 4.
Oh yeah.
Because if he died originally, and then he's brought back to life, then how would he? The biggest thing is, oh well, if he died as a boy, how's he this gigantic man all of a sudden? He didn't die as a boy.
Yeah, he lived off the land.
He lived out in the woods
around Crystal Lake.
Had a big beard, hair,
Yeah,
he's an adult. But in this, he died. He's
brought back, and then he's basically trained to hunt down his camp counselors. Which he decides to, because in this storyline, like you said, they mentioned going to New York.
Yeah.
He just goes on another little killing spree just because. Like he's like it's his rebellion against his dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, it's a very strange plot device, I guess they use.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, it is.
Yeah,
try to defend it.
I mean, that would be kind of lame if that's the only thing Jason Voorhees ever did was go after the camp counselors.
Yeah,
but in this little fan-made storyline, it doesn't hurt the movie.
No,
the movie itself, I get because it does tie into other ones, but if it was its own little universe of Jason Voorhees, hey, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
because they don't leave the plot holes. Now, being a fan, you've watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then know the plot holes. Yeah. But as just a nice fan film, if this is its own little universe, it works very well.
It does work well, and it's almost like it's its own universe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember at one point when they're with that second group who were doing like the tour of the campgrounds, they mention they're not going to have something that happened in Springwood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're listening to that, I guess the counselor talking as they're sitting by the campfire, he's talking about Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the guy who didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Was Dave? I almost said Dewey, but that's because we just watched Scream.
Yeah, I almost said Jeff. So I don't
know. You know how good me and Jake are at remembering characters and actors and actresses' names. That would be cool. It's like in its own little horror universe. Yeah. Like crazy shit is going on in this world.
Yeah.
You got people over here dying from an invisible guy. But then that would definitely tie in, unfortunately. Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, unfortunately it would.
But because this fan-made film was made in 2019, it would make sense. I mean, that's a really cool little, I guess, Easter egg-ish, of information that you could just kind of casually throw in there.
Or ignore.
But you didn't. You brought it into the podcast, so we're talking about it.
I noticed it immediately. I thought, man, this is definitely a reference.
I respect that.
Okay.
I mean, we have covered across the board in our how many ever episodes we've done thus far. We've gone from almost the epitome of best to the mutilator to now a group of fans making an amazing story.
I agree. Yeah.
And when we decided to do this, I was excited because it's almost like we can't include ourselves in that community because they don't know who we are.
Yeah.
But we want to pay respect to creators that are willing to dive in that far. I mean, you have to spend a lot of time diving into every movie and timelines and plots and to make something this cool.
Yeah, and it just shows that true fandom, and being able to use your knowledge and your love for horror and take a storyline, tilt it on its head, and make something new from it.
Yeah, and I think Hollywood needs to listen to some of these fan fiction films because
I agree. So it goes off of what we talked about last episode when you said taking the story and like making like minor changes to it, rather than having the same story over
and
and
over and
Yeah.
over again, which I said I'd be fine with
Yeah.
because I was just trying to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But it, we can't get into it too much because we both just watched the new Scream.
Yeah.
But there are certain ways that I think fans want to see things go, and that's what you can do with these fan-made films.
Yeah.
And I think they really grab a hold of it and do it justice.
Yeah. Because they're making it from the side of love
Yep.
for the genre versus to make a buck.
Yeah, they're looking at it from years and years and years of watching these movies and nerding out over these movies. And yeah, exactly. They're not in it to make, the big numbers, the box office hits, which they would be. That's the most annoying part. Is we obviously horror fans show out because in the last 6 months we've had Halloween Kills and Scream 5.
Yeah.
And even through a pandemic, which we're all going through, the world, the numbers are still good.
Yeah. The love is definitely strong.
So you have the main sister who obviously is really in her and her friends go out to Crystal Lake. They meet the other campers. A bunch of people are dying. But then you got you got the young sister who's supposed to be staying with her friend. They follow the sisters. And they're just kind of, they find a cop, then another cop dies.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand their necessity in the story.
Well, she's a Jarvis.
Well, I mean that, but like,
No, that's it.
that's it, Josh.
What's your last name? Jarvis? Yeah. Let's go. Come on.
Walk around a little bit. You get the separation. The rules.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta stick together, people. Come on. They don't. A bunch of people start separating.
But they tried very hard, though.
The couple of them,
like the main core of them, tried to the last 3 or 4 of them tried so hard to stay together.
3, because the 4th one was like, I'm staying by this fire.
Oh yeah, so yeah. Bad choice.
Yeah. So the 3 main characters, the oldest Jarvis, her 2 other friends, they finally get to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Like it was Camp Blood.
Yeah.
And with the sign.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm very excited because I was expecting across the board just mayhem.
Yeah.
You didn't quite get it. So
what were you expecting?
It doesn't make sense, but just hear me out.
Okay.
I wanted him to be in the house, in the cabin that they go into. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I wanted.
Okay.
I wanted them to go in the house, start looking around. I wanted old bearded dude to just get beat to shit in front of her. Then I wanted her to run outside to the girl that they left outside for the lookout. Never a good idea. And then for him to kill the blonde in front of the Jarvis. And then, I don't know, like cut her leg off or something. I don't know. Something kind of, I wanted that girl to have a scar, like an actual scar.
Okay.
But they didn't go that way, which is fine. It's not like what they did was bad. But the 2 go inside. Blonde stays outside. She hears a noise. She's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm going inside.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason Voorhees is quick, man. He pulls a Mikey Mike.
Yeah.
He gets on her quick. Arrow through the back, out the front.
Yeah.
Drags her. But is it on a chain or is he pulling the staff?
He's just pulling the staff, I think.
So they hear the scream. They run outside. She's getting pulled into the woods.
Yeah. She's fighting as hard as she can, though.
Hey, props to the blonde girl.
Yeah.
Because she really does scratch and claw in that dirt
she does.
to try to survive.
She really does.
Then you got the Jason Voorhees expert decides he's gonna scream and run, hide on the brightest part of Camp Crystal Lake. There's one light pole that's somehow on.
He's right under it.
Right under it. Then he's like, ooh, better idea. I see this broke boat. I'm gonna hop under it.
No, that was not a bad idea.
That wasn't a bad idea. But Jason saw you go over there.
Yeah, like he literally watched you do it.
ironically, a perfectly placed weapon right there for Jason. Grabs it, stabs through the boat, doesn't hit him. Homeboy starts screaming like a little bitch.
Yeah, we all know, in reality, if we were in that exact same situation,
You would scream like a little bitch.
That spear came flying through that boat, I'm going to make some kind of noise, I'm sure.
You would?
I feel like it would,
But think about it. All right, so, honestly, Jake, hear me out.
Okay.
We are horror nerds. So if we have this, like right now, currently, the both of us are in that situation. I already know I'm dead. It's cool. I respect that.
Okay.
I would have been killed probably at the campsite going to take a leak. But you, I feel like, you wouldn't have ran to the light.
I wouldn't have.
And then if you used the boat trick, you probably would have went like through the woods first and then under the boat. So he wouldn't have had as high of a chance to find you that way.
Yeah, because in my mind, he sees Jason.
Yeah.
Jason sees him under the light, and Jason watches him go under that boat.
He's like, what the hell are you doing, dude?
He walks right over to her. All right, well, I'll try this. I missed you that time. He screamed. Okay, I got you now.
You would have screamed with your knowledge and your toughness.
If I was in that exact same situation, I mean, I've screamed, but there's no way I would have just stood still, laid under there, had that spear come through the boat, almost hit me, and have no reaction at all.
No reaction is one thing. Screaming like a little bitch, completely different.
No, I'd probably try to get from under the boat at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. You're gonna try to get out the boat and run again.
Yeah.
Nope. He lays there, screams, gets stabbed a couple of times.
Yeah. Man, and he was the expert.
He had literally been reading a journal of Jason Voorhees.
Clearly, it was not a survival journal. So.
How to survive Jason. And then you get the climax of the movie. You've got the one deputy. He's kind of in the tree line.
Yeah.
You've got Jason. You've got the dad all of a sudden. And then the youngest sister.
Yeah.
Older sister gets stabbed in the back or the stomach. I can't remember exactly where.
I don't know how she didn't die.
Yeah, so that's where
There was blood pouring from her mouth.
So, she gets stabbed by the dad. Jason stands there, stabs his dad. And the camera pans to the little sister holding the older sister with blood pouring out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Jason and his dad share this little moment. The cop puts his gun away and is like, nope, this is not for me.
That had nothing to do with me.
Jason, the dad falls. The cop comes over. He's like, I got two. And he turns around. Dad's gone.
I got one.
Correction. I got one. Black screen 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
You got the girl that got stabbed and was bleeding profusely out of the mouth in a tank top and some jeans.
No scars.
Walking outside, no bandages, looks perfectly fine. Cop comes up. Hey, your dad's body was never found in the carnage.
That part was so funny to me. So he says the body was never found. So he's still alive?
No.
That's not what I said.
That's not what I said. And this is like a random coroner we haven't even seen in the movie yet. He looks like a, what did I say, a ripoff, who was it? Russell Crowe. He looks like a Walmart version Russell Crowe. And so you got he's not alive, but he's not dead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a false sense of hope. Then the cops get in the car. You see the cop car drive off. And then the cop somehow runs up with the little nerd's bag.
Like 2 seconds later.
2 seconds later. Hands it to her. She cries. And it cuts.
Yeah.
And it would have, I mean, I was going to assume, but we know there's going to be a sequel.
Which I'm very excited for.
I think it's May 13th.
Okay.
There's going to be a sequel to it, and I think it's going to be cool. There's a little short YouTube trailer already on it, and it looks, I mean, with how good the first one is, let's hope it doesn't do the normal horror thing and start getting bad.
I don't think it will.
I mean, I don't think so either, because it's
But from what I've seen, it looks like it shows more of Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah,
Kind of put that together a little better.
Which I would love to see how they're going to do it, because they this time went so deep with the dad.
Yeah.
But there's definitely Mrs. Voorhees. I mean, they got that. I'm pretty sure it's the head.
Yeah, you got the whole shrine, the sweater, the head, and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Which this Jason, brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But after he stabs his dad, doesn't he just kind of wander off?
He does.
That's so not Jason.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
done.
I hit my max for the day. I got like 22 kills.
He just walked right on.
I killed my dad. I'm out. But the dad's not dead.
Yeah.
We did see that.
Which is very, as you point that out, it's unlikely for Jason to let that cop live, the girl live, the other two girls live.
Yeah.
He saw them. All right, y'all, I'm out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm already home. I'm tired, guys. You guys had a sequel? Word. I'll see you guys on the next one. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened, actually.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. So, gotta ask. It's a fan made film, but what would you rate this bad boy?
1 to 10.
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
I say it's a 5.5.
A 5.5?
No.
What makes it the middle ground for you? Just quickly.
Middle ground because I do like the characters.
Yep.
I do like the setting. I do like the references to past movies. On the flip side of that, it does leave it open for the sequel, so I can't grade it as if it's a complete movie yet.
Yeah.
And it's just also the whole, the dad kind of threw me off a little bit. The whole book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so a few things that are just unanswered for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is wrapped up in the second one, then we'll see.
All right.
What about you?
I give it a 6.5. I'm kind of separating it from the sequel idea. I'm just looking at it from what it was, even if it's its own universe or not. I really liked the practical effects. I liked the kills. I liked the storyline. Wasn't a lot of in this movie plot holes. Definitely not perfect by any stretch of the means, but the fact that I just graded a Friday the 13th film higher than you makes sense because you're such a fan.
Yeah, it's just with this movie, and I hate this with other movies too. I hate seeing a movie already knowing there's a sequel.
Yeah, but that
But then I can't.
You can't take that out of your head once you know it.
No. I already know.
That's
because I don't know who's gonna live, or we know Jason's not gonna die, but side characters, the whole Jarvis thing. I'm thinking, well, now I know. Once as I was watching it, how we didn't see Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah, you knew.
I figured he's in the second one.
Yeah, he's got to be in the second one.
Yeah, so I knew they'd never find him at any point.
Yeah.
So things like that. So I guess if I did not know there was a sequel, I could probably grade it differently.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
Okay. Yeah. So we're at a 5.5 until the sequel comes out. I'm at a 6.5. Pretty fair ratings for this movie. Yeah. It sounds low, but it's really not.
No, that's the thing. I'm not saying
it sounds low. It's not. We're not saying it's bad at all. We just have expectations for a completed sequel.
Yeah.
After this the sequel comes out, we'll be able to kind of rate both of them together as a whole.
Exactly.
And I think that would give it a better rating. But right now, that's where we're at.
Depending on how the sequel is, it might stay the same. Hopefully it doesn't now. But.
Yeah, it could. But you got all sorts of variables for this guy over here. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add about the movie? Any fun facts or anything like that?
No, I think we summed it all up pretty much.
Yeah, it was fun to do. I really like these. We'll probably do like a YouTube fan series.
Yeah.
Fan made movie series. Which will be watchable on playlists on YouTube and things like that. Mm-hmm. With that said, please check out all of our links. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Google. Mm-hmm. And if you go to our Instagram, which is J Squared Horror Podcast, you can find our link tree in the bio.
Yeah. It's a good way to stay updated with us, as the days go by.
Yeah. And to continually stay updated with us, just remember there are rules to being a J Squared horror fan. Rule number 1, if you're new to our channel or to our podcast, like and subscribe, follow along. The only way you're going to find out about us and keep us growing is to like and subscribe. Rule number 2, light the comment section up. We love interacting with our fans. We want the ability to do movies, books, graphic novels, short TV series that you guys want to see. We have a blast doing it.
We definitely do.
It's one of the things we've been hoping to get more of. So please light up the comment section, DM us on Instagram, any of that. And the final rule is please tune in every Thursday. That's when we release all of our content. It's available on all platforms. And it's just our day to share to the world. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And this is the J Squared Horror Podcast.